quick aside, but oh look, you got a center console. Did you borrow this from the 1900, the center console with the cup holders? Anyway, the task at hand is the engine mounts. Funny thing about these,
arrangement, but
the hexagon goes up toward the engine side. You can see both of them from the top, but actually it's easier underneath. Now we've got a piece of wood on the front of the pan. It's taking a lot of weight off the engine. But the one notable thing about these engine mounts is they're actually screwed in to the bracket with the 3 bolts. This side doesn't get a nut and a bolt. That side is just right into this bracket, threaded. But when you order them, they're gonna give you a nut on either side, and I think that's for the other applications. Yeah, are there other applications? These are HD mounts, heavy duty mounts for the 164s, and a lot of 140 guys like to upgrade theirs to this style for the larger engine. That's all for today. Well, I wasted no time in getting filthy, but this is what I was talking about. Threaded on the back portion, chilling in the front, real cracked up, but not all it's cracked up to be. Soft and gummy. That's not the way we want to see. Well, there's the old brake master cylinder, and here's the new one with the new reservoir, and we'll just see how she shakes with everything connected now. Did you lose the keys? Stand by for technical difficulties. Can you tell he has a carbureted car? She's quiet, but she's a little rough.
it goes down about halfway, but that's a lot better than it was.
Is that already better than it was? I guess you'll have to do the old driving test and see.
No, but that's a big improvement right there.
I had to stop because the G63 looks so good in red. And this is a cute little pairing. A little red, white, and blue.
Don't they have like parking spots like this? Yeah.
And there it goes.
Flashback.
This is funny. This is just funny.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Look at these people.
Hey, here's a party favor.
I already got one.
Oh, I should go to baby showers more often. Hey folks, I'm back in town now, a couple weeks more in Albuquerque, and let's have a visit at the machine shop. I'm hoping they have some updates for me. It's been about 18 or so days since I left, and I'm just hoping that they got to the engine so I can order my parts, because I don't want to be here just twiddling my thumbs. I'd like to be productive with my time and get this car finished so we can all move on. They are so behind. There's just a whole bunch of stuff that keeps coming and coming and coming. Loving these inline sixes, these Toyota guys here. And then there's another customer that just pulled up with another engine to get finished, or started, I should say. So they haven't even gotten to it. Now, the things that I could do to make their job a little easier. Let's see, well, they've got the block in the heads. It might be better if I just bring the block home, disassemble it, bring everything back disassembled so they just can do the quick measurements and know what's up. That's a lot of effort on my part. Maybe I should just wait a little bit. And the more I show up, the more I think it puts pressure on businesses to get to those customers who are showing that they are both willing and able to have this finished. But I'm also very nice when it comes to being pushy, because I'm completely understanding that there's a queue, and sometimes those certain jobs are high priority, certain jobs are quicker turnarounds, and they may focus on something like that. But I don't know, I gotta be patient. And I asked them, should I even get the Junkyard car and possibly get that as something that may or may not need less machine work? And they said, nah, once the machine work starts, that's not the difficult part. It's just getting caught up is what's holding them up right now. So I'm gonna show you the list of what I'm gonna order for this car, and then we'll just take it one step at a time, because there's no need to rush. I've worked with other machine shops in Albuquerque, and they came back bad. And that's a lot of effort for an engine. Check out how Amy has rewarded me for leaving her alone. Oh, she's like a dog when you come back and they're like, why did you go? Yeah. We're back with the girls, and today's gonna be all about shopping. I've never been in love before, but
Dude, they had Daytons on that.
oh man, oh, somebody really loved on this thing.
They...
Wow. Oh, the crushed
Oh,
velvet.
did you see the parachute mount they had on
Ooh,
this
the
thing?
crushed velvet.
Look, here's one of the wheels for it. That was one of the wheels for it.
That's what a beauty.
Told you it was a Dayton.
I'd like to know.
It's probably a knockoff Dayton.
I'd like to know what this looks like with the top closed. You want to try it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
They got it to work.
Wow.
Bravo.
Let's see what kind of motor they
Do you
got
think they
under
even? Do you
this.
think they even did an intake, or they just left it all in stock?
It's stock.
Bone stock. Not even a cold air intake. That's great because that's like a little less pretentious this way.
Yeah, at least they just...
It's just a cruiser, baby. Nick and I are here because I had to make the tough decision of not giving up the rest of 2021 to finish my car and get a junkyard engine for it. Let's go see what she's like, and then we'll talk it all over and try to convince you as much as I've convinced myself that this is the right thing to do.
Hey, sloppy mechanics, man.
Make the best lovers?
It works. It works.
So this Junkyard 1974, I'm hoping it still has a 6-bolt crankshaft. That would be too bad to find out if it didn't. Happy to see the engine still here. Like I said earlier, there's not a lot of parts being taken from 164s because people don't really have these cars. I kind of wish I didn't cut the wire harness for the map sensor, since now I'm going to be pulling the injection system as well. But I'm not going to be doing a fuel injection swap, so that's all for a later time. You know, you want to do a dissection of a car. General rules of junkyards are if you can't figure out why it's dead, you're gonna have to dig a little deeper, and then the best thing you can really do at that point is just lessen your risk of getting a dud, to quote Robert DIY in his junkyard video. But the car, the thing about the 164 that makes it so much less likely to be a dud, and mechanically, at least in the engine, is the fuel injection system typically ends up being the cause of failure. They're your size, I think. And having a fuel injection system that doesn't work is usually the cause of death of a 70s Volvo, okay? So our first checks will be visual inspections. I'll point out a few things. And in the other video, you did see under the valve cover a little bit and the cooling system, but I want to check the operation of the internals as we move on. So why don't we begin our checks here? We've got a car that's 131,000 miles, and the trip meter has been reset, so it wasn't actively rolling, but it does give us some idea of what we can expect with the mileage. I don't think the speedometers or the odometers break on these like they do on the 240s, but they're all plastic gears inside, so it's possible that that mileage is not accurate. Now, just how many years after is another question to determine. I should take this light, don't let me forget that, okay? We're gonna start poking around. Like, okay, the first thing that we can see is the cooling system, and I didn't find rocks in it, but it's not really inspiring when you look under the thermostat. It's not, thankfully, immediately plugged up.
Hey, what are your thoughts on...
This is how you fix your air conditioning. If it won't hold pressure, you just add 4 clamps to it. Yeah, we're gonna take that. We're gonna have a big load today, so this is gonna be a lot of work and a lot of editing for me.
Baby girl, how do I look in my do-rag? Would you tell me the truth?
Somebody left a subframe for this car right in our way, so we just gotta haul it up and then up that way. And down.
Now we're just putting it back upside down.
Oh. Really the only useful thing for the entire mission system is this cup holder. Oop. That's what you get for being funny. Second best use for the fuel injection system. I'm gonna put this in the trunk.
Okay.
Okay, now with the fan removed, we can get the shroud.
The shroud. Out of here.
So I'm gonna undo the bolt in the center of the fan here.
It's your biggest fan, David.
Yeah, it feels like this clutch is completely worn out, so there's no reason to keep that in our pile of stuff. And back up again. Nice work. Oh, it's a Volvo.
Oh, sick.
So what'd you do on the computer here?
Okay, so this little wiring harness cover tab thing, it just kind of kept everything nicely inside of the top portion
Cool.
here. So I did pull it off so I could see what was going on. So the wiring harness doesn't really have any like connectors that clip it in, you know? It just slides into place here.
Old-fashioned.
So this is the top. Well, this would be the top because it was in here like this. So that would be the top.
Check out that crack in the fuel line down here. Okay, so it's time to disconnect the rear end stuff. We've got the mounts, all the bolts are loose on it, and the bolt for the transmission mount has shredded against the rubber. So that might be easier, it might be real difficult to get it out now. I don't like doing drive shaft stuff. And then I have to disconnect the shift linkage. That'll be it for the transmission side. We'll pull the rest of the trans out with the car. Oh man, a little bit of rust in the frame there. That's no good. I like my cars to look like this side. It really doesn't look like much, but we've disconnected the transmission drive shaft. We've disconnected the transmission mount, the shift linkage, the exhaust downpipe, and now I'm gonna start turning the engine. Oh, I took out the condenser and the radiator. I do want the AC condenser. But, oh yeah, look how dirty these grounds get.
I did the wires.
Wanna know why your injectors don't fire well?
Yep.
And Nick got the wires out of the computer and a lot of the wiring here on this side. I'm gonna start turning the engine. I'm gonna measure the compression of each valve just to see how our camshaft's doing before pulling everything apart. Crank is turning by hand. I hear it breathing, which is good. Unfortunately, I left the valve cover off a few weeks ago and it got pretty dusty up top, but as I had mentioned, I'm gonna rebuild the top end at least. The shop can do that rather quickly, just putting in the new valves and the new cam. But everything's moving around like it should. The tolerances, you know, some of the cams lobes seem to be a little worn, but nothing as bad as Ivy, so that's good. And now the next step is to pull the head and check all of the water surfaces. Sand's gonna get in there, but it'll be a proper cleaning before reinstallation. Now's the beautiful moment where we can crack the head up and loosen the head gasket. It's time to crack the head now. You wanna do the honors?
Yeah, I'm just looking to make sure we didn't miss anything.
Oh, for sure we missed something.
Yeah, I know.
Wow, you're lifting the whole engine, man.
Yeah, where's
You're strong.
your dead below hammer?
Uh-huh.
It breaks because you did it. You know what I mean?
So this would be a great wind chime.
It makes me think of Twister.
Cool, she's all loose, and I better
stinks.
better get in there now and give a hand. First impressions, carbon fouling. It's filthy rich in here. So what does that mean for our cylinder walls, UFA? So if we've got coolant in the back, 2 cylinders, but they drain the system on these cars, that means there could still be coolant behind the oil filter where the bung is.
Yeah.
So the block is full of coolant, but what caused that? And more importantly, what condition are the pistons in? Now this head gasket, it doesn't look like a Volvo original, but I can't be sure because I'm not that smart. She does look.
I mean, that's just the fact that they hold water.
Yeah, that's true. Them holding water. We want to feel for a ridge and we want to look for a crosshatch. Now, if you,
I see it's still a crosshatch on there.
I think I do for my end.
It doesn't look bad. Yeah.
Okay, I see some crosshatch marks there. It all says DDD, King DDD. Now, I do want to kind of check for a ridge on each cylinder. Sure. So far, they feel pretty good. Better to run rich than to run lean, you know? Yeah. Eco Magnifico.
Sir.
Spin that crankshaft. All right, ladies and gents of the jury, I present to you Exhibit A. Where's Exhibit A? Who's got the flashlight?
Oh.
There's no noticeable ridge. It's just carbon buildup. I think we got ourselves an okay block here.
I do too.
All right,
I do too.
let's chain it, lift it, and then when we get it out, we'll put the head back on. And we have touchdown. 4 torque converter bolts have been removed. We're out of time, but that transmission should drop. Here we go. Sorry, BW30. It just wasn't meant to be. Nothing personal.
Ah,
Just business. Yeah, she needs a wiggle. I would recommend. There you go.
well, that's not how we wanted it to come out. But we'll take it.
Is that a drive pump or something? Come on, you stubborn thing. Watch her tip over the other way. She's connected to something.
Ah.
Oh, yeah, it's the lines. All right, well, let me lift up the back of the trans. We'll lower it, and then we got to get the seatbelt off so we can put the head back on. Well, with 8 minutes to closing time, we got ourselves a helper here. This guy's been forklifting so long, it's like an extension of his own body. Maybe not. Maybe not. There we go. And hope we tied it tight. It'd be a sad thing to drop that baby. Here's the problem. She's got 8 bolts on the crankshaft. And my car has a 6 bolt flywheel. He thinks it's good. All right, let's clean up, consolidate, and boogie on out of here. Clear an engine bay. Nice, empty, ready for that LS swap for the next feller. And there's the automatic transmission. Got our tools, the engine's gone. There's our horsepower robbing York compressor. And torque converter, the hood. Things kind of got exploded. But thanks for your slurpus. Thank you also to Nicky Bobby. Check out his channel. He's got some great videos on the LS6 swapped Volvo 242, affectionately named Larry. And I'll put that link down below. Well, let's boogie on out of here and empty the wallet. How about that? Poindexter. It's Fat Boy Boogie Whoop Whoop. Truck him up. Here, you're local.
Fat boy, boogie, woogie,
Whoop whoop.
truck him up.
We're all set here, and we're gonna pull in there, crane the baby up from up top, and be on our merry way. This is too much. Oh, it's too much. It seems like everything survived. Yeah, the harness is still in there. For a moment I was like, yeah, this is great. Made it all the way back. She scrapes real big time though. Real big time.